y'all. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my personal 5-step guide that I use to set up all of my Airbnb listings. Step 1, very simple step, just get professional pictures, right? I have a guy here in Gainesville, he charged me about $15 a photo. A really good place to start is just to look for real estate photographers, right? They should be generally familiar with how, take pictures of a house. There are some key differences though that I'll go over quickly. For a short-term rental specifically, right? You want to advertise as much the amenities that you offer through the pictures, right? So what do I mean? For example, if you have streaming services on your TV, in the picture of the living room, I want you to have a streaming service up there, right? If you offer some sort of other valuable amenity, even stuff like wine glasses, right? Or just to advertise that, I have these sort of utensils, I have these sort of amenities. Another good example is stuff like a coffee station, right? So coffee station, generally something that all kinds of people look for, right? It's a very popular thing to have. It's honestly, I think it's an essential amenity to have. In any case, that would be an example of maybe a closer up shot that emphasizes, he has a coffee maker or he or she has a coffee maker. You have the pods, you have the sugar, you have teas, all that stuff, right? And this is more important than you think because Airbnb's algorithm is the interest algorithm, right? So the better pictures you have, the more likely someone's gonna click on it, right? We're drawn to beauty, we're drawn to things that, catch our eye. In comparison to other people that don't have professional photos, you will naturally contrast just because of that, right? And the more traffic that you drive to your listing, Airbnb will pick up on and it'll push you up in their search engine, right? Because your listing is more popular, it's getting more attention. And that's just a simple thing that you can do with professional photos, right? A second step, right? You're gonna wanna download Turno, right? This is a step that basically means you're just gonna wanna have some sort of cleaning systems in place, right? I just recommend you use Turno. They're specifically made for short-term rentals. All you have to do is make an account, put your property specifications and information, and then in 24 hours, you'll get tons of bids on what people can do to clean your property. It's really simple, really easy, and it also give you reviews, if there's like super cleaners, there's a bunch of other stuff. It's really a good platform and it's an essential system you'll need to set up, and the easiest way is just to download Turno. Okay, so after you get your photos, you've got your cleaning set up, right? You're gonna wanna get the pricing set up. So I personally use Price Labs. It's really easy. Even if you have one listing, it's fairly inexpensive, gives a ton of information. It'll set you above the rest of the competition immediately. So yeah, just get started with Price Labs. They'll have pricing recommendations, they'll have other things. You can go based on their estimations. I have a personal system that I use to price things, which is included. I have it in my short-term rental free guide I have on my website. Feel free to reference that if you don't want to do anything. Price Labs makes it super easy. They automate a lot of the settings that you'll need, and it'll give you a really good starting point. And for the fourth step, you're going to want to get RankBreeze, right? So RankBreeze is a really good tool. It's another software. Essentially, it'll look for you in Airbnb search engine, right? And it'll give you a ranking. So you could constantly monitor where you're at and if you're being found. This is really good for testing other things, right? Or testing the difference in adding an amenity and other stuff like that. It works really well. But there's also another really good feature in there. They have a keyword optimization, right? So essentially they take the listings, they find the listings that are on average, they're ranked higher, and they look for keywords in their description and their title, right? So I'll use this feature. I'll go in, especially when I'm starting to make a listing title or writing the description, right? And it'll give me just keywords that on average, the people that include these words in their title and listing are ranked on the page, right? An important thing to note, right? For the title and stuff, right? People tend to do this wrong a lot. So if you look in Airbnb's search engine, right? When you're actually looking for a property as a guest, the title isn't advertised so much, right? It basically will say a home in Kissimmee, Florida, a condo in Kissimmee, Florida, something like that, right? And underneath is actually where your title is advertised, and it's like grayed out, kind of grayish. It's kind of, it doesn't show very well, right? So when people use this space to name their house, like, a breezy blue bungalow or, whatever, a Story Lake oasis, stuff like that, it's just unnecessary, right? What you're going to want to do in that title is advertise the amenities that you have, right? So a really good one to put in is a king bed, right? This is something Sean Rockazich talks about a lot. I'll do king bed, free parking, approximately 5 minutes to the heart of Gainesville or to University of Florida or to Shands Hospital or all these hotspots that people are essentially booking for anyway. This is a beginner mistake. A lot of people do this. It's an easy way to get ahead. It's a really good way to get more clicks, which we already talked about, right? Drive more attention, boost your ranking in the search engine. It all works together to really produce the best result. Another secret I can give you, right, for listing creation is the description. So it's super easy to use ChatGPT, right? You could just put in, make me an Airbnb listing description for a 4-bed, 3-bath property with blah, 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 right? And then sometimes the stuff from RankBreeze, right? I'll use those keywords and be like, add this keyword in there, add this, right? That's the typical way that I'll do it, but there is a better way that I have recently learned about. I haven't utilized it yet, but this comes straight from Sean Rockazich. I actually paid paid for this information. So it's a basic description formula, right? So what you're going to want to start with is, he says, second person language, which is basically like you will experience, you will feel, you will, all this you kind of emphasize the feeling that they will feel at your property, right? This second step would be to get a list, like a bulleted list of all the things you offer, right? So this is when we go back to amenities. This is where, this is where I would go be like 5 minutes to university, free parking, king beds, sleeps this, any useful information that kind of caters to the audience you're, catering to, right? And then the third is calls to action, right? I've heard a lot about this. Call to action would be like call now, a button that's specifically made for call now, or schedule now, or schedule a free consultation. But generally that's what it is. In this specific case for Airbnb, it's just going to be your verbiage. It's going to be like book now, or message me with any questions you have, stuff like that. This is for like, you really want to optimize what you got going on. You could put calls to action in the description. You're going to want to finish the description with that, but you can also put it in other places throughout the listing, right? Because Airbnb, interest algorithm, they even will monitor things like inquiries to your property, right? So sometimes people don't want to book immediately. They have questions and they have the ability to message you directly and ask that, right? So even just stimulating that kind of interaction will also boost your ranking in Airbnb and boost your overall bookings, right? And the quantity, volume, price, all these things. So, okay, y'all. And then for the final step, fifth step, you just want to fill out the listing completely. I'm talking about fill in as much as you freaking can. The description, what it gives you prompts about the space, guest interaction preferences, obviously like stuff like the key code, passcode, whatever, how do you get in the house, where the locks at, all this information, the amenities, add as many amenities as you have, as much as you have. I can't emphasize this enough. Something that they speculate about, something where Airbnb will look at your listing and see its completeness. They look for this and they use it as a metric to push your listing, right? So you want to be as detailed as possible. You want to put in as much information as possible, right? And another little secret, right? There's a section in Airbnb, it's called accessibility features. It basically advertises any, ADA stuff, right? Do you have a disabled parking spot? Do you have a hoist for your pool? Does your house have a step-free entrance, step-free access, right? All you have to do is just get a picture of those and submit them. And then immediately you put yourself ahead, because a lot of people, even if they do have that stuff, they don't take the time to take the picture. I'm actually guilty of this, right? It also doesn't necessarily apply to a lot of my stuff, but if it's something that you have, it's an easy way to boost your visibility and boost your rankings. And y'all, that's really all you need, right? It's going to give you a really strong foundation to start. It's going to put your listings above a majority of the people in your area immediately. There'll be some wiggle room. There'll be some, a learning curve. You'll learn how to use the platform, and as time goes on, you'll understand it better, and you'll be able to tweak things and make little adjustments here and there. But generally, this is going to start you way ahead than everyone else and give you the strongest possible foundation, and it'll get you hitting the ground running, right? So if you want more detailed information on this stuff, I have a free short-term rental guide. It's on my website. I'll put the link in the description below. I do also offer free consulting, right? If you have any personal, very specific questions, right, about listings, just go on my website. My email's on there. My phone number's on there. Give me a call. I'm more than happy to help with any of that sort of stuff. But yeah, this should give you a really good start, and I'm rooting for you. I hope to see you do well, and I hope this is useful for you. So thank you.